Solutions. We're going to start the events right now, and if we can get Kim Cunningham, our safety manager, up here to do a safety moment, that'd be great.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kimberly Cunningham. I am the Health and Safety Manager here. First, I would like to take the opportunity to say thank you to Ken and the rest of the team for allowing me to be part of such an amazing opportunity. I've been with this company for just over a year, and I have been blessed to be part of the continuous growth. My family is from the community of Whitefish at Tikamig, but I have grown up here in the Edmonton area. I have built my family and career here in Edmonton, where I continue my professional development as a health and safety professional. I am extremely grateful to be part of such an amazing team that has supported me not only in my professional growth, but as well as my personal. So thank you again. Now I would like to briefly go over our emergency preparedness plan to ensure everyone is aware what we do in case we should have an emergency here on site. 3 short blasts of the blowhorn will indicate we need to evacuate. The muster point is right behind us, right behind the gray car. So if we can all walk in an orderly fashion to the muster point, where I will do a roll call to ensure that everybody's there safely. During the site tours, please, I ask that you stay with your designated True North representative, and personal protective equipment will be given to you as well. Please keep your mask on when you're not able to maintain your 6 feet of social distancing, and please use the provided hand sanitizer as well during your stay here. So I hope everybody enjoys, and thank you again for joining us here today. Hi.
Thanks, Kim. Hi. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nolan Arcan. I am a field coordinator at Alexander Business Center. I just want to say it's an honorable day today. It's a very good day to be Indigenous, but every day is. In a time we're in right now, we are in a time of grievance, why you all wear those orange ribbons on your jackets. And moving forward in this business plan and this agreement, this is reconciliation itself, I find, in my heart, truly. So, sorry about that. I'm just getting a little emotional. So, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nolan Arcan, field coordinator. For the past couple month, sitting with Ken, Joe, Chris, going through the tours, it was unbelievable. Of this, like it's beautiful. It's awesome, and I think that we have a good opportunity, and you guys should be proud of yourself with the hard work you've done over the years and your expansion. Everything you've accomplished. And this is just the beginning. Today marks a new day. Today marks a great day. And it's very good that it's on Indigenous Day. There's no better other way. So before we get started with anything, when we do things as Nehewak people, Indigenous, we follow that protocol. And I think I'll turn it over to Kicking Horse Singers to honor us and render that drum song. How? Please all rise, remove your hats. Hey, hey. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll actually remain standing as I call upon Francis Kootenay to conduct opening prayer, to maintain and follow those protocols as we begin days and celebrations. It is in our customs to follow that protocol, to ensure the safety and ensure the blessings of what is to come forth. So I ask you guys to please follow us in prayer and ask you to be a moment of silence. How? Hey, hey. Hi, hi, thank you. You guys, you seated now. Next, I'd like to call upon our very own Alexander, Senior Princess, to come give a few words. We have royalties within nations, and this is our royalty, a woman. We honor those princesses, we honor them. And we're very blessed to have our own, along with our Ogama, chief, and every people here. So with that, Alexander Senior Princess.
Hello. Kind of soft spoken. Tanse, hello. My name is Kaylin Susan Iqbal, and I'm the Senior Princess of Alexander Face Nation. Today is a very exciting day for our community, and I'm just happy to be here to experience this moment. I can't wait to see what happens in the future with this. And everyone have a nice day and stay safe. Hi, hi, thank you.
Hi, hi. So next, I'd like to call on Martina Desjardins to come. Ladies and gentlemen, Martina Desjardins is from the Alexander First Nation. She is a woman's jingle dress dancer. Over the years, I've saw her grow up. She's my younger niece. She's grown up to be such a proud uncle. She's like a sister to me because we're close in age, and I'll let her introduce herself. Hi, hi.
Good day, everybody. It's a blessing to be here and to be able to share my dance with you guys. It's been a long, 16 months since COVID started, and we haven't been able to powwow as much as we want. And we get to powwow a little bit this summer, so it's exciting. And it's always a blessing to be asked. I'm really proud of Nolan and the blessings that he's bringing to our community and all the hard work with the chief and council and just representing and Joe and Uncle Joe. But yeah, I've been dancing for 9 years, and it's a lot of healing. And in this time of grievance, with the finding of the residential school kids that were found, it's tough and it's hard to hear and it's heavy. But dancing is healing, and I hope that my dance brings healing to you guys and helps you get through those hard days. Hi.
Hi. So, ladies and gentlemen, Martina Desjardins, she is a woman's jingle dress dancer. The woman's jingle dress is symbolic to a healing dance. The cones that are on her dress, they jingle to carry that noise and pray for the sick, pray for the ones who are lost. So we're going to ask Martina to do a song for us, to dance a song, and the singers to conduct a song. So in this time that she'll be dancing, if you are going through a tough time, you pray for yourself, for your family, for today. How? Hey, round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Martina Degelay. So, while we have a moment, wait for our next dancer, I'd like to introduce our drum group, Kicking Horse Singers. We have Mr. Corey Arcand. Round of applause. James Manus, Josh LaFleche, Sagaway Joe himself, Mr. So you gotta call. I forgot Mr. Sorry. We got Creedon Arcan. We got Mr. Donnelly Paul. I'd like to speak about them just for a brief moment. Over the years, these boys, I grew up with them and we traveled along throughout Indian country, singing and participating in powwow, and it was good over the years traveling and making memories. You know, when you're a young man, I'm glad for my Uncle Corey to introduce us and help us really learn about the singing. And these are young men, and they should be proud of how they conduct themselves in a professional manner and sobriety, living that good life the way as Nihiawak it should be. And I'm honored and thankful for Uncle Corey to be really pushing that on us. So I'm wondering for Dougie Rain, is he ready? You boys over there, can you see him? Is he good? Give him a thumbs up or thumbs down. Say, Dougie Rain. Kwaya ho. Astamik. Oh, he's good. So, in old school times, when tribes would come to agreement, outlaws would come. They would come to dance. They would come into honor and welcoming a new agreement with a warring tribe to ensure that agreement was respected and maintained respected throughout the process of time. They made a pact, but when they asked these certain warriors, it wasn't the greatest warriors they asked, it was the outlaws. They asked the worst of the worst to do this because there's a balance we have to honor with the great warriors that we hold in honor and esteem. And then we would have the outlaws to remind us of how delicate that balance is. Dougie Rain is one of the last living outlaws out here in the West. He's made a name for himself as a child youth care worker for 26 years. You could also listen to him on the Wind Speaker Radio. I am honored to be a nephew of this great man. He's conducted himself in a good outlaw way. He wears the bonnet, war hat on his head to remind of that outlaw. He says to himself he's not a warrior because the word warrior gets tossed around a lot. He never counted coup. He never scalped. He's not a role model. He's simply modeling a role for the youth, Native youth, to continue this way and this balance, as we said how those outlaws do, to ensure that moving forward, that protocol is followed. He is a men's traditional dancer, and he's been dancing all his life throughout powwow country and made him a name for himself as a well-respected dancer. I am honored to be his nephew. I'm honored how far he's come, and I'm honored for the lessons that he's taught me throughout this course of time as me being a young man.
Ladies and gentlemen, we don't do traditional dances here. As how I've been taught, these are contemporary versions of the original styles. Over time, our dances have evolved. People don't understand the way we're dressed. Oftentimes, people that don't live our ways would look at my hat and think, that's not traditional. The history of my people. At one time in history, our people couldn't afford to wear a felt hat. I come from bloodlines where they took things from battle. Sometimes we'll see our people wearing cowboy hats and boots, and the non-Indian will wonder why are they dressed like cowboys. Because the history of where I come from, my ancestor, Rain in the Face, was at the Battle of Little Bighorn when Custer was rubbed out. They pillaged the bodies and took the boots and the hats off of them as trophies of war. When our people wear the bells, those became trophies of war. After the Battle of Little Bighorn, they took the hats and the boots off of the bluecoats, and they went to the horses and they stripped them of all their tack and bells, and they decorated themselves and danced in victory. Our people have been dancing in victory since. So today, when my nephew asked me to come and share, I come to you in a good way to do so. And don't forget to find the Heartbeat of Nations on CFWE Facebook page. Click like and invite all your gals and pals to like us too.
How? Nig 'em up. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're seeing, give a hand, give it a round of applause if you like what you're seeing. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dougie Rain.
I just want to finish off with, I love the sound of my own voice. Actually, when I put my knife down, because today's a day of agreement, this is where people would look at it in a way that it's a good day. And there shouldn't be weapons between two agreeing parties. Ahow.
Aye. So now, ladies and gentlemen, the man responsible for all this, I'd like to have him joined by his father and come and tell their stories and speak, Mr. Ken Bragan.
Good morning. Thanks, dancers, drummers, singers, Nolan. I knew Uncle Humble was the man for the job when we were looking for an MC. A little nervous, didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I woke up this morning, put my pants on 2 legs at a time. It's a trade secret, don't ask me how. But I looked in the mirror and I said, you know what, today let's change the world. And that kind of calmed me down. And, I thank everyone for being here today. Everyone here knows what this is going to represent, what this is going to mean, not only for the great people of Alexander, but for true reconciliation across Canada. I'm extremely excited, and I'd like to start by telling you a story of the journey and how we got here. I'm going to share a little too much, but that's who I am. I lay it all out there, and the last thing I ever want to be is boring. So even if my jokes are mediocre, just please do me the favor and laugh. There we go. Thank you. Before I get started, I'm going to introduce the man to my left. He's the founder and co-owner of Frontier Valve International. Also happens to be my stepfather. Happy belated Father's Day.
Thank you.
Yeah. The second is my stepbrother and new co-owner of Frontier, Travis. So you'll hear all about him. Now you know him. Yeah, you can say hi to him and you know where they fit in this whole funny equation. So here we go. I stand here, you know me as Ken Braggett, but that's not my real name. On my 10th birthday, my parents sat me down and gave me cake, toys, and informed me that Ken Braggett was not my real name. And in fact, I was born Kenneth Lewis Callahoo, and I've never met my real family. I was, adopted, name changed, and I really didn't care. I wanted to eat more cake and play with my toys. So didn't know how to process that information. But, as a young child, I was diagnosed with high-functioning ADHD, which, made things a little tough on me. But, I remember, I truly believe the only way I graduated school was because every single teacher didn't want to have me a second time around and fail me. I didn't even have to open up my report cards, and they were filled with 51s and the word satisfactory all over the place. Move on. Yeah. I think my mom used to joke, that party that those teachers has, that's because you're moving along. And I thought that was a good joke. So me being a little bit of a tough kid to handle, I was, things were tough. My brother and me, we became this little pact that, looked out for each other because, things were tough when we were growing up and the kids. It was during that 10th weird year of my life where my parents separated and my mom met this guy. And at that time, he was just starting Frontier. And I spent, all the free time at the valve shop, fell in love with it. And I spent more time there because every time I would get suspended from school, my mom would be like, "You're going to Frontier." And I'd be like, "Oh, shucks." I didn't mind it. He didn't mind it because he got free labor. So it worked out for everybody. When I was in 10th grade, I had to fill out, an essay, a paper, on what I wanted to be when I grew up. And it was to run the family valve business or be a police officer. So when I graduated high school, I thought, you know what? I'll go take this business management program at NAIT, and then I'm going to come back and run the family business. It'll be given to me, easy. 2 months in, me and this guy and a bunch of people were at the 2002 Grey Cup here in Edmonton, indulging in a few Commonwealth Stadium beers. And he goes, "How's school?" And I had the courage to say, "I hate it. I don't like it." And I said, "Wouldn't I be better off getting a real-world education, say, at a valve shop somewhere, old man?" We laughed, and we smiled, and we hugged, and drank stadium beers all hours of the night. Monday morning, 6:30, only a few hours after I went to bed, this guy bursts into my room wielding an object I've never seen before, but I would soon become very familiar with. It was the help wanted section of the newspaper. He threw it at me, and I said, "But Dad, but Papa, I have a job at Frontier, and I haven't received my proper 10 hours of sleep that I need." It was at that time I realized there was no job, and never cut a deal with a man who's consumed 20 Commonwealth Stadium beers. So after being kicked around the valve industry for a couple years, I finally landed an interview at Frontier. I got a job, and me and this guy worked side by side for 4 years until I pursued my other dream of being an Edmonton City police officer. And, I quickly found out, much like Joe can confirm, being a police officer ain't at all cracked out to be. In 2012, I left. And just around that time, Greg and my mother had been divorced for a couple years, and he says, "Come get this box of your mom's crap." And I went and I picked it up, and I don't want this, but I threw it in my garage and left it there. We're a little busy. He'll call you back. Yeah. Okay. I'd like to remind everybody to please put your cell phones on silent at this time. Leave it to you.
That was the education we're doing.
Yeah. So I shoved this box in my garage, and it took me 3 years to go through it. And what I found was a treasure chest of my entire history, my Callahoo family. I had, in fact, actually met my real father. There was custody battles. There was pictures in this box that totally contradicted everything I was told on my 10th birthday and for, the rest of the 24 years of my life up until I found that box. You know, and I'll share something actually, you know, it made me emotional at the time. You know, in that box was a document that stated that my mother was, you know, due to have an appointment to get an abortion when I was 5 months old, or, you know, 5 months prior to me being born. And so, you know, through the power of Facebook and a couple clicks, I was looking at my entire family, and then within a couple months, I'd met everyone. And I learned how proud of an Indigenous family they were and the connection to the Michel First Nation. And, you know, I'm a descendant of Chief Michel Calahoo, and I did my own research because Social Studies 10 and the public system failed me drastically when it came to the true history. And, you know, I knew that I was in now a position that I could make some real change, and I wanted to help. We started True North in 2018, and things were going great. You know, our slogan was changing industry while changing lives, and everything seemed like it was going great. Then this guy sits us down and says, hey, I've been diagnosed with cancer. And, you know, I'm looking at a man who taught me everything you need to know about the valve industry, got me into it. He could have abandoned me and my brother and my sister when my mom and him divorced because we aren't his biological children, but he stuck around, and we created a tighter bond. And I thought, God, I want to help, and I want to help him, help Travis, who stepped in to run the company. And I remember I was driving around Conklin, Alberta, and me and a couple of the boys were doing some stuff at Conoco up there. And we drove through the community, and there was, you know, there's a half-finished rec center, and there's, you know, housing. And I thought, like, why is nobody investing infrastructure in our Indigenous communities? And so I started thinking, how can we change and help and make real change, meaningful change? And I thought, well, my dad and my brother own this valve company. They've got a beautiful valve product line. They've got a factory here in Edmonton. Maybe this could be the start of it, right? So I went to Travis and I said, hey, I've got an idea. I want to move your factory into an Indigenous community to help make real change. And he said, okay, I like it. Let's talk more about it. I said, okay, hold on. Have you had any stadium beers lately? No. And I said, okay, like, you know, this is what our Indigenous people need. They need local jobs. They need to create infrastructure from within. And I think this will be real change. And you guys have this product that we could easily do this. And he took it away. He talked to Dad, and they came back and they said, we want to join you on this journey. So we started reaching out to some local Indigenous communities. And we met with Joe, Nolan, and Chris. It was an immediate match. Like, they saw the vision, and they saw the possibility and of what this could do, and to support real generational change. And so today, we're going to split manufacturing between Frontier and True North. And Alexander is going to provide us with some members who are going to learn everything about the business and train here. And within 6 months to a year, when the facility is ready, we're going to move all the manufacturing out to the Alexander First Nation, where we believe we're going to create, with the right support, 20 to 40 initial jobs and millions of dollars in revenue to support other community initiatives. So thank you, Dad. Thank you, Travis, for believing that this is the right path towards reconciliation. Right? We're going to create meaningful jobs, and we're going to, you know, change the world. Right? Believe it or not, True North's only 40 months old. We started with 8 of us in a 7,500 square foot facility, and you know, this was our mechanism towards reconciliation and change, and we just wanted to create this powerhouse that couldn't be stopped and was going to employ and change lives. And it's been hard. Like, it absolutely has been hard. You know, we're competing still against some of the biggest companies in the world, and to get the message out and to get the meaning out has been tough. You know, I don't think the world was quite ready for what we had to offer and was willing to listen to us. You know, there's been some of that, and I'll be completely honest, you know, I got into this thing again, and I looked around at the valve industry, and I saw the billions of dollars that was being spent, and not one job, $1 was being given back to our Indigenous people and how we could include them. You know, so I've seen that. I've seen, you know, a couple of the big distribution companies that don't care about what we have to say and care about our message. But I really, honestly, I need to point out today that there was one company who believed in it, who approached us to partner and saw the value. And that's MRC Global. And Chad LaRock and Shane Olson are here today, over there. Give everybody a wave. they believed in it. And they're a friend to our Indigenous people, and they're a friend to reconciliation and change. And we look forward to you buying a lot of Alexander Frontier ball valves. Yep. Yes. So when I talk about change, when I talk about, one thing that I learned from being scared by this guy and his diagnosis is that our time here is limited and it's precious, and we got to make the most of it. And, when I think about the most change and how we can reach the most people, not only for the people of True North and the people of Alexander, but I look at what we could accomplish if every single one of us here was pushing behind a 100% Alexander-owned valve supply company. And the amount of change is a lot. So in my hand is a letter of intent for True North to become a 100% Alexander-owned First Nation company. I believe that this will absolutely guarantee change lives, and it's going to change the industry. And, we'll have a facility in Alexander. We'll have the facility here to take care of members who've moved away and come to Edmonton. And let's change the world. Okay? Thank you.
Hi. Next, I'd like to call upon Mr. Joe Kootenay to come and give a few words. You guys can clap if you want to.
I guess I'm a little taller than most. Mig istigal, kadam skatnau, kakyo. Nigan, anaskamo, without without istigal. Jokuni na sigasen, kaputagao, chinia. I greet you all. I welcome you all. Thank you all for coming. My name is Joe Kootenay. I'm a senior project manager for ACC, division of ABC. First, we always give thanks to the Creator. We always give thanks to the Creator for a beautiful day, blessing us, bringing us here safely, and for moments like this. I'm a former elected member of the Alexander First Nation. I was on the last term's council. I was a part of a team that established the Alexander Business Center. The Alexander Business Center was built and developed because in 5 minutes of my first meeting as a council member of the Alexander First Nation, I was sick of managing poverty. It did not take long. Within the first meeting, we had 1 million problems that we needed to address and work towards. The Alexander Business Center was created to be a transparent and open operation to our members and to move us into a place from poverty to prosperity. As a leader, as a person of the Alexander First Nation, I wanted to manage prosperity. That's what I wanted for my people. That's what my colleagues wanted for my people. And that's what our leadership today wants for our people. We want to manage prosperity. How do we be a part of what's going on out in the world? How do we be a meaningful part? How do we help lead the people around us to one of the small steps towards reconciliation? It's through things like this. This is what you call reconciliation. By using an Alexander ball valve, an Alexander gate valve, whether that's a 1/2 inch or a 64 inch, you are moving towards reconciliation. We're making a difference. When I first stepped into that leadership role in my nation, we were short just about 300 houses. We had a giant deficit, a lot of teamwork, a lot of struggle, a lot of try. we moved closer. The leadership that's here today, I'd like to acknowledge as well. Chief will be coming up in a minute, Chief George Arcand. We have Councilmember Chris Arcand, who served with me on the last leadership team. We have Kevin Arcand, who's a member of council. We have Scott Burnstick, another member of council. Thank you guys all for coming here today. It's before being in leadership in the Alexander First Nation, I worked as a consultant, project manager for some major clients, that we will now have, I hope. And one of my roles in those companies was as an analyst. If we would go into an area that had 13 nations that you had to consult with, 13 nations would come up with a consultation package. 13 nations would come up with the same business package. Every last one of those nations would have a forestry partner, a yellow iron company, and probably have a safety company. There was all these steps. Everyone could rent you a porta potty or a mat. 2% token Indians is what we were. People would come up to us in a rent-to-feather model. They'd come up, we'd go out with these JVs, and we'd hope that we'd be able to bring something back. Oftentimes, watered down all the way to the bottom. Sometimes we saw no profit on some of these JVs. We gave the instruction to Ian, who is our CEO, who is my next acknowledgement. I said, Ian, I would rather own one company than push 1,000 JVs. He brought in Chris Vanderberg, our COO for ACC, and we took over the first part. A simple business to show our people that we can do this, and not only can we do this, we will do this. We took over our store. That was the first one, first hurdle. There's some adjustment. We jumped in from the hot tub into a cold pool, but you know what? It employs 20 of our members today. You can proudly walk in there. It's a beautiful, state-of-the-art, world-class facility. We showed everyone that we can do this. Next step over, we come out as an ownership. Brent Stark. Brent, where are you? Helped us in a big part in establishing Alexander Safety as a 100% owned by Alexander entity. We have 25 of those beautiful Mercedes units there. This is movement. This is real. In due time, my friends, this building right here will say Alexander Valve and Supply off the front. The building in Alexander will say Alexander Valve and Supply on the front. And it's because of the hardworking people like Ian, Chris, Stacy, their countless hours, time. I'd also like to acknowledge our CFO, Adam, in what they do every day. Sleepless nights, like the one I had last night, with all the gears turning about what I was going to say today. Wrote a beautiful speech, forgot it at home. But we don't need it. When I look behind me in this facility back here, I see our people already. I see people with a future. As a young man growing up in Alexander, spent my whole life there. I grew up alongside Councillor Chris Arcand here, Scott, we're the same age. 14, 15 years old. If we're lucky, we could fall into some programming, get a job in programming on the nation. Now, the opportunities are endless. Whether you want to come in and learn how to be a machinist, an engineer, an accountant, a lawyer, we have those opportunities for you now. This isn't for us. This is for them. This is the future. This is for the future. This is why we do business deals like this. Industry partners, thank you for coming today. I'm very honored and happy to see you. I'd also like to acknowledge my Uncle Frank for his prayer this morning, the drum for their beautiful songs, and some wonderful partners that we're going to be able to walk with. And Ken, Greg, I am so excited to be able to turn the valve on the first valve made by our people. People, this is reconciliation. This is how we move into the future. This is how we're going to do it. Thank you.
He is tall. Hi. Next, I'd like to call upon our chief, George Arcand, to render us a few words about today and moving forward as following that protocol.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you, Frank, for the prayer. It's always a good way to start our day. It was when our elders bless us and keep us on the right track. I'm really happy today that in our tradition, normally the chief is the best hunter, best singer, best dancer. Right now, I don't have to do any of that. So our drummers do their own job, our dancers do their own job, and our hunters go hunt. And I just hope that someday I can do the things that they do. Because our drummers are a way for us to solidify agreements. Our dancers are a way for us to solidify that we are interested. And our hunters are people who ensure that we're nourished and fed and that we'll continue to walk in a good path. Today, we're here to celebrate an agreement. And I know we're going to get into technical stuff. We're going to sign a joint venture and a LOI. But what I want to bring to your attention is that we've brought that agreement already by bringing our drummers, showing you some of our traditional dance, having our elders smudge and prepare areas for discussion. We've already signed that agreement. We've already entered into a relationship with Ken, his father, and his brother that's going to be long-lasting. It's going to be long-lasting because we're doing it in a way that makes us all proud. Makes us all proud of not only reconciliation, but it makes us proud that we're going to help each other. And when I mean help each other, it's going to be in various ways. But Alexander is not going to be a First Nation that is going to accept being second best or going to accept a relationship that puts us in the back seat. We're going to be partners. We're going to work as hard as you, and we're going to do what it takes to make this business successful. So I hope today's signing is a sign that Alexander is here, our community, our chief and council are supportive of the idea of us getting into these agreements. And I hope while we celebrate these things here in Treaty 6 Traditional Territory and Alexander Traditional Territory, that we could signify to everyone in Alberta and Canada and the world that as we look at reconciliation and we think about the residential school and the things that have happened over the last short while, that to begin to understand reconciliation, we first need to understand that we have a problem and understand the history behind that problem. And part of that history is there were some mistakes made, and we're going to try correct them. And I think these kind of agreements allow us to make sure that our people get the supports they require to get past some of these things. The mental fatigue, the hardships, and the abuse that they all had. In my community, we had almost 70% of our older people went to residential school. We're only now understanding the repercussions of that. We're only now understanding why certain things happen and why certain people do certain things. So we're still learning. But as we learn, we want to share that. And we'll share that with people as time goes on. So reconciliation isn't just an agreement. It isn't just today celebrating Aboriginal Day. It's recognizing the fact that we do have a problem. And we now need to sit down and start talking about fixing that problem. And I really appreciate this agreement we're entering into, because in Alexander, it's going to give us a chance to fix this problem. Aye. Thank you.
Aye. Next, I'd like to call our councilman, Mr. Chris Arcan, Scott Burnstick, and Kevin Arcan.
Good afternoon. First of all, I'd like to thank the Creator for a beautiful day today, and acknowledge the elder for the prayer, and acknowledge our drum for opening up, and our dancers. I just want to come up here and thank a few people. You know what? Our business center. I want to thank you guys for the great job you guys have done. This is my second term on council, and we started this company to build for the future of our nation, and it's we had a lot of stumbling blocks when we started, but Ian and his team are doing a very good job, and I just want to acknowledge Ian, all his employees under him. You know, it doesn't go unnoticed. I want to thank Ken and his father, brother, his sister, for their vision. It's a great. It was great for Ken. He first phoned. He reached out, and he called me. I didn't know who he was. He called. I answered the phone. I just didn't take it too serious at first, and we kind of looked up his name, and he's kind of a big deal. I guess maybe we should hand it off to our business side. And then Ian and Chris and them, they took off with it, and I'm very grateful that they've done that, and it's I'm hoping this is going to be a huge step for our community for employment, and it's going to be a great thing for Alexander. I thank you guys. I thank everybody for taking the time to be here. This is I'm very honored to be here. It's a great day. Hi. Thank you.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name's Kevin Arcan, council member at Alexander First Nation. I just want to thank the Creator for another beautiful day and blessed us with a great day today. Thank our elder Frank for the prayer, and want to acknowledge our drum group and our dancers from our community. You know, those songs and those dances, they have a lot of meaning, and like the chief said, when we're talking about reconciliation, part of that is, learning who we are as Native people. And part of reconciliation is understanding and learning and knowing the truth of what went on, like the chief was mentioning. So I'm very happy to be here, and I think this is a great agreement for our community. The opportunity to create jobs and employment and bring in opportunities to our people is great. So I'd like to thank some of the parties that are involved. I'd like to thank Ian and the ABC group with Chris and Joe, Stacy, for all of their hard work. I never met Ken before, but I got to hear him speak today, and I was telling him that he's got such a soothing voice that I should record his voice and play it at bedtime, and he'll put me to sleep. But no, I just want to thank all the partners that are here today, everybody else that came out, and this is something that's good for our community. So thank you. Hi.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Councilmember Scott Burnstick. I just want to give acknowledgement to everybody that was here today. You know, our business center, our dancers, our Uncle Sass there doing the prayer, drum group, and everybody else here today as well. You know, thank you all for being here. I'm with everybody. You know, I'm really hopeful about our future together. And you know, when we started talking about this, I didn't even realize how far along we were until we started touring our facility on Alexander. You know, it's pretty surreal. It's I don't know, just looks bright for our future with Alexander Business Center, Alexander, and with you guys as well. I just also like to give special thanks to everybody that made this happen today. You know, you got Joe, Nolan, Ian, everybody with ABC, and everybody with True North as well. You know, it's a pretty exciting future. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to call on Ryland Brennan. Come give a few words there, young man. You guys can clap too. I'm going to clap.
Hello there. Oh, it's a little bit higher than I thought. My name is Ryland Brennan. I'm with TC Energy. I'm part of their Indigenous Relations Business Engagement Group. It was about before COVID, say about a month before, if the time's right, Ken. They received a message and a phone call from somebody who had something that was really unique. And we were given the opportunity to come and tour this facility and really realize what the potential was for the future in this industry and in this space. True North Valve Solutions and its future is going to be unique in the Indigenous business landscape, and we are very excited to see what is going to come of the relationship in the coming years. So, on behalf of myself and TC Energy, congratulations, and we look forward to what comes next. Thank you very much.
Aye, hi. So, I think we'll start getting ready for the signing agreement, but as we get ready and prepare for it, just on a personal note for myself, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but for the next 45 minutes or so, I want to talk about... No, I'm just kidding. As we move forth and meeting Greg and Ken from myself, coming into the office and seeing this, I'm a pipe fitter by trade. I've installed numerous valves, all sorts of different ways, all sorts of different makes. I will say, you know, I thought it was just grab a valve, install a valve. But after seeing the production and seeing the wholesome of this entity, you know, I mean, coming in, you're seeing the workers assembling it and putting it together and working hard, them smiling and laughing. There's a wholesome feel here. And I could see where Greg was going with this when he started. He finished school in the 70s, he was telling me. As Greg goes forward in his life, he should be proud. You should be proud of your son. And just know that this is the beginning. And while we're all not here someday, it'd be nice to see what this makes of this someday. Because this valve, you don't just turn it on. It puts food on someone's table, feeds their young, creates opportunity, and lets the world know reconciliation existed today. As we move forward, I'm very honored and proud to be meeting the gentleman here. It's a good day. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ken, Mr. Joe, Mr. Chief, we call it the leadership, Greg, we get the True North team, co-owners, CEOs, presidents, chiefs, make your way up. Ian, Chris, council, Greg. I don't know if it works though. We can bring the table out.
All right, gentlemen.
Yeah.
This is the letter of intent.
Can they see us all back here in the dark?
Letter of intent. Chief. This is you. What this states is that we're going to be moving forward on the subject of document. We're going to be going towards
Hold on, just go. Before we move on to pictures, Ken, Greg. On behalf of Alexander and Alexander Business Center, moving forward, we're gifting you guys ribbon shirts as a custom of our ceremonial traditional wear. Put them on. Let's see. Have a look. Ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't understand, in our ceremony ways, just like the medallion that I'm wearing, when it comes to ceremonial traditions, we have different aspects that we need to dress up for. Like Dougie said, we're representing how we looked and maintained back then. We gathered. And us, with this agreement signing, we've gathered these shirts for these men to make them honorary known that they're welcomed. They can represent from us. So some shirts are coming off, so just stay here focused on me. Holy smokes, Greg's ripped. Greg is shredded. It's that gym up north, up there. So we wear specific things. We make them by hand. They're often prayed over. They're often given their gifts as a sign of welcome. When you get a shirt or you get some sort of something, for example, this medallion I got gifted from a woman. I do conduct myself in particular ceremony, and she really loved the way I conducted myself. So she gave me this as a gift to welcome that and honor that. We collect feathers and numerous things, just to kind of give you an example of what we're doing right now. Right now with this agreement, it's not just that the paper, like the chief said, that's how we do our agreements. The songs, the prayers, the sit down, it's not a pen and paper, we honor that. That's how we make agreements in our way. So, let's take some pictures. Everyone have your Snapchat, everything ready? Looking sharp, boys. Yep. Top way. And as we come to agreements of shaking hands, we asked for a victory song. I ask everyone to please rise as we celebrate the new chapter of the True North and Alexander Business Center teaming up to implement Alexander Valve. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a big day. Exe. Hi, hi. Ladies and gentlemen, the song that you're hearing is the victory song. It's a song sang in our ways to showcase that victory. Whether it's our warriors or outlaws returning home from battle, coming home, whether it's a signed agreement or whether it's agreements between two tribes to ensure that what we're doing is going to be respected and honored, is a song you're hearing now to showcase and honor what we're doing today. Calling our Alexander Princess up here. Chief George Arkin, Chris Vanderberg, Ian Arkin, as our boys assemble the first Alexander Valve while the song is singing to represent that honor and respect of this agreement with both parties. Hi. Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause for our singers. We thank for their time today and they coming all this way to sing for you guys. That's one of the biggest honors you guys should know is singers, you know, when it comes to, as you've seen the dancers, singers play a big role because obviously dancers can't dance with no song, and that's where Corey Arkin and all these boys, they have songs. And it's not songs that you just go buy off a CD or a tape or something. These songs are handed down from generation to generation to be sung throughout ceremony. Very sacred songs with the drum itself too. It's a sacred item that we have. It brings healing. And now, with this agreement, this valve will become sacred itself because both parties are assembling. And this is how we agree together. With that, ladies and gentlemen, exit. If anyone would like to come up and say a few words for some closing remarks, the invitation is welcome right now. Okay, you guys are shy. All right. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have a food truck. The smokehouse barbecue is there. Please remember COVID, social distancing. Please wear your mask. Hand sanitizer is around. Just give her a little of that. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Nolan Arcand. I hi Naskamo Nexemaga. So stick around, mingle, get some coffee in you, have a cigarette, shake hands or air shake hands. Get some food in you, some coffee, beverages. Aye.